Does Down.
Debbie does. One day that will be on here. But Captain Ron here, as I was saying, you're going to show it eventually.
Obviously, I'm going to show it. It's called the Physical Media Show.
Vinegar Syndrome. Guys.
And there's a new one, and that's Air Force One.
Get off my plane. I think Sony paid you a bunch of money to talk about all their steelbooks tonight.
Cool stuff, but you know,
Are we seriously gonna have to talk about the screen movies again?
This is a movie I didn't think I'd like as much as I did, and I know it was like really popular because it like won some Oscars and whatever, but
Debbie Does Down.
Since we're actually showing something, is they actually produced crew jackets. Like, the movie never went into production, but it is. Oh, it's got a Delta Force 2 motion.
Hey, that works either way.
That's cool.
Is anyone even there still? I don't even know.
Yeah, we're just listening to
Okay. I was like,
no one's saying it. Like,
really
into the story.
It's on Netflix if you want to watch it.
Hello, followers. Welcome back to the Physical Media Show here on FanZcene Vids. I am Greg, your host, and with me tonight, as always, is Tom Connors of Midnight Says After Dark, Midnight Says Radio, all the cool Midnight Says stuff, and also coming back with maybe an announcement for you guys, Runner. Welcome back, Runner. Since you've been gone so long, how you been?
I've had a hell of a few weeks. It was interesting and very busy.
Yes. Well, glad to have you back tonight.
But it feels too long. I missed you guys. I'm glad I could pop in for a special occasion.
Yes, I'm glad to have you back tonight. Do you want to go ahead and say it, or do you want to wait a little bit?
I don't know. What do you think?
It's up to you, man.
No.
It's up to you, whatever you want to do. But while you're thinking about it,
you know what? Fuck it. Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm just gonna say it. This is my last show. I hate to tell the chat this. You guys were great. I hate to leave you guys, but I don't have time anymore to be on the show as a regular guest. Yeah, I'm going to miss it. I don't know what else to really say. I love these two gentlemen here. They're like big brothers to me. They always pick on me, but, it's all part of fun. And, it's been a great journey. I started this with Greg, and, I'm happy that he's going to pursue further with this show. I think it's going to get big in the future. And yeah, whoever my replacement is, have fun, because it's a fun show. This isn't a goodbye to anyone wondering. I'll probably pop in as just like a guest for a few times, maybe like when I have like winter break or some shit, summer break, whatnot, but I can't commit to this every week anymore.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show.
He's breaking up with us.
Yeah, I promised myself I wasn't going to do this.
We won't remember you.
What was your name again? No, but seriously.
Fuck the Best Buy too.
Yes, everybody in the chat dropped the fuck the Best Buy.
We'll miss you, man.
Yeah.
Thanks.
We will. Like I've said before, surprisingly, this show is Runner's ideal. This sprung from Runner's graduation. He graduated high school, and now he's in college. He bought a bunch of physical media with his high school money, graduation money, and just one day out of the blue, he's like, "Hey, you should do a show on physical media. I'll join." And I was like, you know what? That's not a bad idea. And thus, here we are, 107 episodes later, like 3 years. We've been doing this, and Runner is the thanks for that. And you will be missed, buddy. You truly will be missed.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'll miss you guys very much. It's been a great journey. Really has.
I'll miss making fun of you.
Yeah.
I know.
Whoever we get to replace it just won't be the same to say.
Yeah, but we're pretty close.
And all that. Yeah.
We did auditions and we found somebody who's really, really close.
Auditions.
We're not going to say anything about the couch, but
oh no. I knew you were going to go there.
But you know what? This is still my favorite. I was going to put some clips together, but I didn't have some time to go through a bunch of 107 episodes to find clips of you. But these are my two favorite clips.
Dude, that would have taken a lot of time.
It would have took forever, but these are my two favorite clips I put together. It's only 11 seconds, so I'm gonna play it for you because
I love it.
This one's for you, buddy.
This one's great.
It's on Netflix if you want to watch it. Read the actual comment. Greg, Chris, and Tom would be a great show. Oh, but
yeah,
Runner, right?
Oh, that's great. I love it.
Yeah, and Chris, that would be Chris Gore. Greg, Chris Gore, and Tom.
Chris Gore. But fuck Runner,
right? Yep.
It would be nice to get Chris Gore on here, but this is actually one of the nights he goes to the theater every week, so it's not in his schedule at all. So,
but that one day we'll talk to Chris sometime whenever we get a chance. But yeah, like Tom said, he gets out to the theater this night. But you will be missed, and I want to say.
Dude, I'm sorry to interrupt. I totally forgot about that clip. I'm so glad you found that.
I thought it was hilarious. But yeah, if I had more time this week, I would have went through a bunch of episodes and clipped out a bunch. But this is a one-man show here, people. This is just me running FanZcene Vids. I have no editors. It's all me. That's why it's all low budget and looks crappy. But
hey, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere. But I want to say hi to everybody in the chat real quick. Heather Preston, Joey, Random Brad Creator, the real Sean Crumwell I see out there. Deleted Scenes, Tim Hayes, we got. I can't believe this. Thank you so very much, Tim Hayes. Channel member for a whole year. Thank you so very much. I appreciate that. Thank you so very much. A shout out to you. Shout out to everybody out here waiting on us. Cool Gamer, Dr. Coffin Nels, Brian Barth, he says, hell. Brian Barth, if you didn't hear, this is Runner's last show tonight. If you came in late, this is what we got here. Film Watcher 96, welcome. Let's see who else we got here. I want to make sure I get everybody. If I missed you guys, I apologize, but thank you all for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you for everybody watching. Join us for the Physical Media Show tonight. We're going to send old Runner out with a bang. So anything you guys want to talk about before we get into the picks?
Didn't we?
I like turtles.
Jesus. What's new news wise? Don't we have that to talk about?
Yeah. What's up, Poorly? We got rumors that was that a rumor? Or was that confirmed? It on 4K, the original 90s. It on 4K.
That was a rumor.
That was a rumor. Okay. It has been confirmed. Tremors 2 on 4K. Barbarella from Arrow. We got The Witcher, or not The Witcher. I said The Witcher. I meant not The Witcher. I meant The Wicker Man steelbook coming.
Oh, The Wicker Man.
The original, not the bees, not that one. This is the one with Christopher Lee. I was trying to remember everything that was out because there wasn't a whole lot. Oh, here we go. I always forget. I always feel like I'm taking advantage of Tom asking him to do this.
The week of August 30th, 2023.
Fine, I do it.
Here's your look at the Steelbook exclusive Walmart edition of the long-awaited RoboCop documentary, RoboDoc, the creation of RoboCop. You can get that on the 17th of October. It Came from Outer Space is getting a 4K Steelbook from Universal on the 2nd of October. Weird, the Al Yankovic story is getting a U.S. 4K release from Shout Factory on December 12th. The Muppets Take Manhattan bows on 4K on the 24th of October from Sony. That's the first Muppet film to make its way to 4K. The Wicker Man will be coming from Lionsgate on the 17th of October. There's a look at the Best Buy exclusive 4K. The new film, The Meg 2, will be released on the 24th of October from Warner Brothers. A pair of holiday classics, Scrooged and Trading Places, will both be released on 4K on the 7th of November from Paramount. Bill Hunt has confirmed you can expect Snow White on 4K on October 10th of this year. Blue Beetle will be getting released on the 17th of October. There's a look at the Walmart exclusive Steelbook. Prey will also be getting released on 4K on the 3rd of October from Disney, aka 20th Century. Arrow has some excellent announcements coming up, including Tremors 2 on 4K on the 28th of November. You can also expect Barbarella that same day on 4K Blu-ray from Arrow Video. Now, there's some exclusive versions of the covers you can find at their sites, so that is worth checking out. We will be getting a slew of Disney Plus shows in 4K. There's a look at all those there. You'll be expecting those on the 26th of September, the 28th of November, and the Mandalorian ones will both be coming on the 12th of December. Charlie Varick has gotten an announcement from Kino Lorber. No date yet, but we will see that in 4K. A few rumors. We have It coming to 4K. No info on that. Terminator is also getting rumored again for a 2024 release date. And JFK is also in the rumor mill. That was the one that was confirmed. That's it, kids. See you on the show.
Yes.
And there was this fun bit we didn't touch on.
Oh, I know. Oh, I was wanting to talk about this. Go ahead.
Oh my gosh, look at this nonsensical bullshit. Like, that's some weird ass alien
know what else
shit going on there.
I know, look at that. They're using AI for a cover poster art that they already own.
I don't know. It's really almost the same exact art. It's just the weird shit that they altered in it that makes it.
Even Aykroyd's face, his smile doesn't look right.
Well, that's pretty close to what the original art looks like, which is weird.
I know, but is there something weird about this?
They changed the money to like different money, and it's like, it's dumb. I don't know.
Yeah,
what they did.
Yeah, it looks weird.
Yeah,
I know that's how. I know that's how they look in the poster and stuff. But there's just something weird about the smiles, even though that's
the original poster right there. I mean, even his fingers kind of had that anomaly in there, but that's because of the way he was holding the dollar bills there. Those aren't real dollar bills, as we can see, right? So that's the main thing they changed. Otherwise, like, it makes little sense as to why they did that.
Yeah, that looks
I don't understand.
Me neither.
Why didn't they just have him riding a camel?
Just like the National Lampoon's moose
or a moose. I mean,
moose. But we did get a $5 super chat already from a possible replacement for Runner from the Rookie Critic for $5. He says, Runner made the physical media show all the funner. So thank you, Rookie, for that.
Funner is not a word.
Hey, it rhymes, and I'm
It is now.
It is now.
Well, okay, because it rhymes, I'll give you a pass, Rook.
And speaking of AI, and since we got a $5 super chat, I've been waiting to use this, so good luck with this one.
Talk about buttered sausage. Talk about buttered sausage, where it comes from, what it does. Why is it doing what it's doing? Get it out of my face. What about buttered sausage?
That's not your jam. It's not your thing. You don't like it?
It's not my jam. I don't buy jam. I buy honey, and I kiss it on the lips.
Is that real?
No, that's AI Gary Busey.
Oh my god, that's so fucking
that's weird.
That sounds and looks like he would say something like that.
I know.
Get that buttered sausage out of my face.
The buttered sausage. Let's talk about buttered sausage.
Have you ever run naked in the middle of the night, covered in blood, in the moonlight?
Yeah.
After eating raccoon pudding.
I did too. I thought it was real too, and then I looked further into this clip. It's AI. Some guy does these he does these fake interviews with celebrities, and that's like the most realistic he's ever done. So it's insane. But yeah, let's talk butter sausage. Runner
sausage.
What's up?
I just love the part where he's like, I don't buy jam, I buy honey, and I kiss it on the lips. But Runner, since it's your final night and we've won over everything, I hope you guys saw some titles that you want to get. I ain't buying the Disney ones; they can kiss my ass. Runner, what's your first pick for the night?
So the way this is gonna work is because I can't stay for too long. I have 4 picks, and I'm gonna show 2 each time. I'm going twice, and then I'll have to leave, sadly. But I'm gonna share my screen because I don't have any of the physical media with me, sadly, because I moved and stuff. But so it might take a bit. You can just go to someone else, honestly, at this point, Greg.
You sure? I mean, I figured you wanted to go first.
I'll go next, okay?
All right.
I need to set this whole thing up.
It wouldn't be a Runner final show without Runner being Runner. So
yeah, there you go.
There you go. Tom, what's your first pick of the night? Since we'll just go to you.
Fine.
First now.
Since I brought this up on 4K for you. Creepshow. You won't have a more fun time being scared. I don't remember. I think that's something like the trailer.
Yeah, it's the most fun you'll ever have being
most
scared.
fun you'll ever have being scared. And I actually kind of like this. I got the other slipcover too, but looks really kind of neat. And I got a whole elaborate version of this one. And of course, the weird thing is, and I brought this up earlier on 4K for you, this was a separate release, but you can totally tell like it was meant to be a part of it. Like this was supposed to be like a third disc or a second disc that went with it. And I don't know what happened between them and how that worked out. But yeah, instead we got a whole nother documentary here, which is like a 90-minute documentary with some other special features that we didn't get here. And it feels like it's missing, right? Because there's not a whole lot of special features on this. And this is the same version they've been releasing for the last couple of years here.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff on it. Don't get me wrong, but this shit just feels like it's extra. This was supposed to be the bonus disc, right? Like that's what it feels like. It just, yeah. But the movie itself looks amazing. I mean, of course, it does suffer in certain optical effects and such. You will notice some degradation and a big, down step in quality for certain shots. But for the most part, movie looks amazing. Sounds good. Shout did a good job of upgrading this film. And I think, we got Jay in the chat. Whoa.
I know, drunk 3PO
shit.
What is he
doing?
And
on my last day too.
Yeah. What's up, Jay?
What's up, Jay?
How you doing, Jay? But no, I can recommend it. Definitely.
I love Creepshow. It truly is one of the most fun you'll have being scared. And I love the fluffy scene, everything. Go ahead.
I bought that actually and I watched it.
Did you?
Yeah, it was good. I probably didn't like it as much as you guys, but no, it's fun.
Runner.
Hey,
it is one of the best, if not the best,
anthology
movie out there as far as it. And not only that, they did it on a nothing budget, but it looks like it was made with like $30 million back then. I learned earlier when watching Just Desserts, the creep is a real skeleton.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
They didn't do anything. They just put rods and shit. It's a real skeleton. But anyway,
well, they like I was watching this one thing. They were saying that it was actually cheaper to buy real skeletons from like colleges.
I think it was Tom Savini who brought that up, and that's what he did here, basically. And they always come from India. And it was the same thing that happened in Poltergeist. They just didn't tell anybody during Poltergeist. But Tom Savini like brags about it when he does it.
Yeah.
Skeletons.
I saw Tom Savini.
Did you?
At Warhound, yeah.
Did you get his autograph?
No, I didn't.
Loser.
Hey, I met Freddie.
That's not a trump card when you didn't get Tom Savini's autograph.
I didn't. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, Tom Savini is Tom Savini. I mean,
no, I like Tom Savini.
He's a man.
The stories he's got. I mean, come on.
I know.
No, it's a great flick. I can recommend it, and yeah.
Yeah,
I don't want to take up too much of runner's time, but go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I've been wanting to get the 4K myself. I've been waiting to hear some reviews, and everything I've heard so far is really good. So I think I'm going to be pulling the trigger on that because I still have the Blu-ray. So I'm looking forward to picking up the 4K because I've heard it looks great.
Yeah, I didn't compare it, but yeah.
But that's some movie I've always loved. I love seeing Leslie Nielsen in. I always want to call him Sam from Cheers, but it's what's his name?
Ted Danson, which is funny because he this was even before Cheers. Yeah,
I know. I always loved that. That one was great. I always loved Fluffy. I thought Fluffy was
that's
great.
my favorite one.
Yeah, right. I think the weakest one, in my opinion, I don't know if you feel this way, but the weakest one is the one they end on with the roaches.
Yeah, the roaches. Yeah, you could have cut that one out.
Yeah. But other than that, you're right.
I like A.G. Marshall and all that stuff, but I mean,
that one wasn't my favorite.
That's one you could have either cut down or cut out, or it should have been like in the beginning or whatever.
Right.
Like, yeah. Or you could have just lost it and it didn't need to be more than an hour and 40 minutes or whatever it is, because it is one of the shortest ones too. But yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Could have just had that as a special feature, maybe.
Was it Runner's Best Buy?
That's not as funny as you think.
If you didn't say hi, it is.
Well,
and still didn't get his autograph.
No, I didn't.
Dr. Coffin knows wants to know which whorehound he was at. It was the
most recent one at Indianapolis.
Yeah, I agree. 80s made consumer, definitely. But yeah, it's a great movie. I could gush about it all day. I've been speaking of which, in that clip I just played of Runner, they talked about the Creepshow TV series. I'd still have yet to see the rest of the series, but I've actually heard the series is pretty good. I watched the first season. It wasn't bad. It's not up to par with the movies at all, but it's not bad. It keeps the spirit of the movies alive, which I thought was pretty good. So I need to get back into watching the rest of those. Plus, I mean, they've got people like Tom Atkins. They've got Barbara Crampton, the chick from Hellraiser, what's her name? From the first movie, I can't think of her name. They've all been in it, so like it's got horror cred to it, and so I'm gonna have to get back into the TV series and see if it's worthy of the movies, because I know the first season was actually pretty good. But the Creepshow 4K is in the queue to buy, waiting for that's right. The Shocktober sale will be coming soon. That's gonna be costly. But any final words on Creepshow before we get to Runner? Anybody? All right.
No,
sounds good. All right, cool. Runner, I know you don't have it with you because you're in your new place, but
correct.
What do you got?
Okay, so these first two movies, watched them. Well, one of them I literally watched. One of these movies I watched while I was packing. Not Gone Girl. I watched that a few weeks ago. David Fincher's Gone Girl with Ben Affleck.
The Amber Heard story.
Holy shit, that's perfect.
Poor Doogie Howser.
Oh, that's great. I didn't think about that at all. But no, it's a really good movie. I think it's one of Fincher's best. It's probably one of Ben Affleck's best performances, arguably, I'd say.
He's basically just playing himself, so.
Yeah, he's good. He's really good though. Like I thought he was really good in it. I think it's one of his best. Wait, so you saw the movie, Greg?
Yeah, I've seen Gone Girl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good like mystery type thing, like some of Fincher's other movies, but yeah, I bought this for like less than $5.
Yeah, it's not very expensive right now, so.
Oh no, like it's dirt fucking cheap.
Batman: The Search for Queen Mara.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, this was a few years before he played Batman, I believe.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good movie. I don't know what else to say about it. Like, do you have anything to say about it, Greg?
I know that Broad in it is creepy. She really is creepy, Rosamund.
Oh yeah, I thought it was well casted too. I mean,
yeah.
One thing you can say about David Fincher's movies is like he knows how to get a good performance out of his actors.
Mm-hmm.
I think so anyway.
The ending is pretty creepy. It sticks with you a little bit, but it's an all right movie.
Yeah.
It's not something I would personally own. Not that I didn't like. I did like the movie, but I don't see myself revisiting the movie multiple times. So.
And I've also just been in a David Fincher kick lately. Like I watched like some of his other films that I hadn't seen, like Zodiac. I watched. See that one?
Yeah, I've seen Zodiac. Yeah.
Yeah, and I also watched Benjamin Button. That was pretty good.
I've only watched half of that movie. I didn't care for it.
Really?
Yeah, I just was like, yeah, I get it. He's aging backwards.
I liked it more than I thought I would. I didn't think I'd like it as much, but I don't know. Like, I thought it was really good. I thought that was like one of Brad Pitt's best performances.
Yeah, it's just.
No, I can understand. I can understand
seen the stuff I watch, man. So
I can see why you can. I can see why you of all people would see half of it.
Yeah,
because you're Greg.
Exactly. I mean, I watched.
Okay, so my second pick, I literally watched this late last night. Ferris Bueller's Day Off on 4K.
Bueller. Said you like it? Is it the first time you've seen it?
Oh no, I've seen it before.
Oh, okay.
What are you doing? It's over. Go away now.
It is one of the first memorable ending after credit scenes.
Yeah, right.
Right.
But I picked this up yesterday. Actually, I just went for a quick shop and bought a few things, and yeah, this was one of them. And I was watching this while I was packing because I'd seen it before, you know.
Yeah, I love your movie commentary.
He's one righteous dude.
He's one righteous dude.
It's a really good movie. Mia Sarah, super hot at the time, you know.
Oh, of course. I mean, she was like
an asshole.
I'm gonna do it. But yeah, it's a good movie. I always like Ferris Bueller. It's something that I think a lot of us grew up with, and if you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor.
I always thought it was a little overrated. I'll be honest with you. I know I've never really said it before, but I like it. It's a good movie. It's a great movie.
I mean, it's not like my favorite, but it's
as far as John Hughes movies, and this is why I say that. It's like it's one of his probably easiest, laziest films, and yet it's the one that everybody remembers and talks about first most of the time. And it's like he's got 5 other films that should be mentioned first. You know, not least of which obviously would be like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles and stuff like that. But anyway, that's my only thing I'm going to say about it negatively. Other than that, go on.
Yes.
Yeah, no. I mean, like I was watching like half of it, but I was also like packing at the same time. So I was like I was trying to like multitask and stuff, but 4K scan looked pretty good.
Yeah.
There's some spots where it feels like the neat was over cranked, but it's better than a lot of the Paramount ones we've got.
I was just gonna say for Paramount standards, this was definitely worth.
I believe the cinematographer oversaw it, or whoever it was. Who is it, Greg? I remember they did a whole like write-up.
Oh yeah, it was not the director. John Hughes did.
Yeah,
I can't remember who it was.
I think it was the cinematographer, but
yeah, I think it was. Yeah, because
I know there was a picture
that or the editor. It was either the editor or the cinematographer. I can't remember now which, but yeah, there was a whole story about it, and
there was a picture of them doing the transfer for that movie. Actually, like last year or something. I remember that. I don't know if you do, but
yeah, I remember that. That's
well, in the films that are most closest to John Hughes, as far as like the movies that are more him, like those are the ones that people don't usually talk about so much either, right? Because like he is Russ in National Lampoon's Vacation, right? Like
yeah. He
is the guy and She's Having a Baby, right? Like, I mean, those are the 2 of the more personal stories of his. Like, Great Outdoors is based on him growing up and going camping with his family, right? Like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is directly about him traveling all over the world after he had become John Hughes, right? Like in his experience with running into people and different types of people and all that sort of stuff. So I mean, even those films alone, and then you got movies like even something like Uncle Buck is not talked about enough, and that is probably one of his more funnier films, I would say, like of the humor side of things. And then of course Home Alone, you get to those, to me that's when he kind of becomes corporate John Hughes, because you literally get like the rip-offs like Baby's Day Out and Dennis the Menace and shit like that.
Yeah, I forgot about She's Having a Baby.
That is directly about when he first became a writer and his wife got pregnant. So it's all about his life and at that era. But yeah, and then of course The Breakfast Club, which is also probably one of his best films in general.
Oh yeah,
but that one gets brought up usually more often. So
definitely.
All right. Well, Runner, do you want to talk about your
other picks while you're here?
Yeah. I actually have to leave a lot earlier than I thought. Sadly, I hate doing this on my last day of all.
How dare you go to college and actually get shit to do? God.
Yes.
Leaving us like this, high and dry.
Can you just stand around and be an incel like us?
Jesus. No, Tom, I can't do that for fucking ever.
It's lonely white incels.
I'll visit you guys someday. But
Weird science. Maybe that one will come up next week, Random Brad.
I watched this recently. Brian De Palma film.
That movie's messed up.
Right?
Starring seen it in a while, but
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
As a cross dresser.
No, but like I thought it was really well done. It was weird. It was like kind of a surprise, honestly.
I know Nancy Allen's hot in it, so.
Oh yeah. Oh, this is honestly, I think this is the best she's ever looked. Maybe next to Carrie.
Yeah, she was pretty young in this, I think. I don't know. Was this before RoboCop or after RoboCop? I don't remember.
She looked older in RoboCop, so I would.
Might be what year was this? Let me see real quick.
Shit.
Dressed to Kill.
Let me look it up.
1980. So yeah, it was before RoboCop.
Yeah, I was gonna say it would have to because she looked a lot younger in this. But
sorry, Double Fett. Sorry, I should have. that is actually a pretty big spoiler that I gave away.
Yeah,
I apologize. True. I probably should have kept my mouth shut,
but you kind of ruined it.
Thinking about it, it's just kind of funny, but it's a pretty creepy movie.
No, it's like weird and hilarious, especially like for today's standards,
Yeah.
Like it's just you kind of watch it differently, but it's really, really good.
Yeah. It's basically about a guy, a killer. Somebody's going around killing women, right? Like I said, it's been a while, but like they think it's a woman going around killing people, right? That's the story, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and then Nancy Allen's a model, I believe.
Something like that, and
I can't remember. I have not seen this movie in years, but I just remember.
And like, there's that one point where they think that somebody thinks that she was the killer who killed that one guy in the elevator because she was holding the blade. So there was that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where her character gets introduced and all that. And yeah, that whole twist with the Michael Caine character was fucking crazy, man. It was really, really good.
He had rubies as big as what was that from back? Alfred going around killing people. Did Bruce know? No, Bruce didn't know. That's why he hired him years later.
Yeah. It's funny. Like, if they were to make this type of film now, I guarantee you, like, David Fincher would probably direct it or some shit. I could totally see him direct this.
I don't know. I mean,
Brian De Palma was.
This is one of those films that's kind of half canceled right now. I'm surprised it even got a 4K. The only reason it probably got a 4K release is because it's a Brian De Palma film. Same thing with Silence of the Lambs, because this is one of the movies that's always brought up when they're like, you make the LGBTQ community into villains and murderers all the time. It's like, just once in a great fucking blue moon. Okay, and yes, there was a time, an era where, it was a little bit more risque and taboo, and we have to understand that these things come from an era that are a little bit different. And not only that, I mean, let's face it, there is a lot more violence and murder among certain groups. I'm not going to specify which ones, but hey.
It happens, what can you say?
Domestic violence, I should have pointed out.
Domestic violence, yes. What do you guys think of Brian De Palma?
I like him, but he has been said by many, many, many people who knew him or know him. I'm talking like he's dead. Know him or are critics of him have said the same thing. He's a wannabe Hitchcock. He had a lot of talent. He kind of wasted it trying to just appease this idea of creating the blockbuster movies that he always wanted to be like George Lucas. He wanted to make these big studio pictures all the time. But he just never quite, he's had a few, he's very, very well renowned. Don't get me wrong, but he probably could have made a lot more interesting movies than he did instead of just continuing to rip off Hitchcock for his entire career.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, Mission Impossible is pretty much like his last,
and that's his least De Palma film.
I know.
Studio film ever.
I know. Exactly. And I was just going to say, that was kind of the last movie, and then...
Or at least the one you could say the only one he's not ripping off Hitchcock in.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But, that was, after that, his career just... it was just kind of dead,
Technically, he's still sort of ripping off.
I was just gonna say that too. Now that you mentioned
the opening with the cast and wanting to actually what he wanted to do with the original cast, but since he didn't get them, he's got
not just that, the mystery of it all, and it's not as it seems, and the whole business. Yeah,
he sort of is.
The opening could be something out of a Hitchcock thriller. Exactly. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Any other words on this runner? Before you show your final one?
No, not really. And Brian Barth, he's naming some. He's naming a few I haven't seen, but
Scarface is probably the only other one that he made. That's
Scarface is his best movie.
Yeah, and I would agree, it's probably his best movie. And the Untouchables, those are the only two.
Oh yeah, the Untouchables is great.
Carlito's Way.
I haven't seen Carlito's Way yet.
Again, those are with all those four that you just mentioned. There are basically him doing other people's work. Except for Scarface, I guess you could consider. But they're either a book or The Untouchables is kind of a remake of the old TV show. Carlito's Way was also a book, if I remember right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Look at this. Weird coincidence. The actor playing the doc at the Nut House in Dress to Kill with the killer crossdresser is the actor playing the doc at the Nut House in Ace Ventura with
I don't know if that's a coincidence at all.
That maybe they're trying to connect.
I don't think it was. They actually make a few references to cross-dress, the Crying Game song.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of them in there, yeah.
Yeah, it was probably a nod to the film.
All right, can we move on to the next?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Elysium.
Now this one I've never seen. So
really?
It was actually better than I thought it was going to be compared to what everybody said.
I enjoyed the shit out of this movie. After seeing Gran Turismo, which I loved, I had an absolute kick out of that. And after that, I was just like, fuck, I need to get in a fucking Neil Blomkamp kick, So I watched District 9, loved that as well. Thought that was great. Elysium, I picked up yesterday and I watched it. And can you tell me, Tom, this had some type of controversy to it? Because I didn't have really problems with it.
I don't remember it being controversial so much as just people didn't like it.
I don't understand it. I had a good time.
I don't know. People, they had the same problem. They had the same problem with Chappie.
I haven't seen Chappie yet.
And Chappie, I can understand a little bit more because Chappie is really what if you had Short Circuit meets RoboCop, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Elysium, at the time it came out, I think it was one of his more expensive movies. I don't know. I got goaded into watching it by Mr. H, actually. Because I didn't want to see it because I was like, I like Chappie a lot. I love District 9, etc. And from what I heard about Elysium, I don't want to ruin my, love of Blomkamp. And I've got other things about him I can't say in public, but I've talked to people that know him and stuff, let's say. So I know a few things about him and stuff like that I really can't say too much about. But so I finally saw it and I'm like, oh wow, this isn't nearly as bad as what everybody said it was. In fact, I like it a lot.
Yeah, I had fun with it. And,
it's not his best. It's his third best film, but
No, it's not.
I like Chappie more and I like District 9 more, but I know a lot of people who hate
I like Gran Turismo more.
See, it's hard considering that his film or a film, because it's he made it, he directed it, but it doesn't have his stamp on it so much.
Well, he didn't write it.
That's what I mean. It doesn't feel like
Neil
Blomkamp movie, and if nobody told me Neil Blomkamp directed it, I wouldn't have known.
You're kind of right.
That's why I found out Neil Blomkamp directed Gran Turismo. I was like, I can't be right because he don't make movies like that.
No, I think this is him trying to get out of director jail.
But when you watch Elysium, it's literally like that whole entire premise could be a video game. So, it's literally like Call of Duty and all these other first-person shooter type games. That's literally what Elysium is to me, anyway.
Yeah, Steven also pointed out that he made a horror movie that was also a dud too. Yeah.
Oh, I heard.
Which is sad because isn't that the one that got in the way of RoboCop in the first place? But yeah, I think
it sucks.
And Alien 5,
RoboCop
right?
or Aliens, and I don't know about Halo. So
see, I could see him making Halo. Abso-fucking-lutely. Honestly, after seeing Gran Turismo and it's honestly, some people have debated whether it's a video game movie or not. I think he's probably
I'd put it more in the vein of Tetris and Air than I would a video game movie. But it does have the Sony PlayStation logo at the beginning, so whatever.
Yeah, it's produced by PlayStation, and their first live action adaptation was Uncharted, and it sucked. And then you got Gran Turismo. It's like, oh wow, this was fucking great. Holy shit. I need to watch Chappie, though. I haven't seen Chappie yet. But no, I'm really growing into Neil Blomkamp's stuff. I think it's really good. I love District 9. Saw that one not too long ago, and I watched Elysium. I enjoyed the shit out of Elysium. I think it's underrated as fuck.
I think most people will look back on some of his movies. I haven't seen Elysium, but I think most people will look back on that and probably Chappie and do some better in the future, probably.
Matt Damon was fucking awesome, man.
Matt Damon.
But I like the gore and shit in some of Blomkamp's films, the District 9 and Elysium. Gran Turismo didn't have any of that shit, but there's bodies exploding, heads blown off, all that shit. I love it. That's fucking awesome. And I'll say this, Greg. I think after thinking about it, because I saw Gran Turismo Sunday because it was cinema day and it was $4 for a ticket. I saw Gran Turismo because I heard good things about it. I loved it. And one of the things I thought about was, a lot of these movies nowadays, they rely too much on CG and not practical effects and all that. Gran Turismo, it has CG, but the difference is it actually supports a lot of the practical effects that are already in the movie. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's it's not I'm not going to say it's amazing CGI, but it wasn't distracting. You know what I mean? It didn't take me out of the film. I think that's what a movie like that Like, I was just like, man, I want more movies like that for that type of stuff.
Yeah. Like I said, I haven't seen Gran Turismo and I didn't see Elysium, but yeah, that did surprise me though when I found out.
Elysium was up against Oblivion?
I didn't know that.
I honestly, I enjoyed Elysium more than Oblivion. I don't know if that's an underrated opinion or not, and I liked Oblivion, but I thought Elysium was better.
Really? That we got a controversy here because usually it's all like Tom Cruise is this.
I like Tom Cruise. I don't like every film. I don't. No, there's a few stinkers of his. Okay, at least that I think so. There's even like a few movies, honestly, of his I didn't like that some other people did, but Oblivion's not his best, but I mean it's good. It's like it's his only movie that he's done with Morgan Freeman of all, which is
Morgan Freeman and I'm God. That's really bad, Morgan Freeman. I don't have the voice.
That's not too bad. I can't do a good Morgan Freeman.
I can't do very good voices at all.
It takes some practice, but I hate to do this. I got to jump off.
All right. Well,
it was a pleasure. Love you guys.
Whenever you get free, sometime during the semester, Christmas break, whatever, and you want to come back on for a show, just let me know. The DMs are always open. You're always welcome here. Thank you so very much for
your Best Buy. Fuck your Best Buy. Bye, runner.
Fuck you too, buddy.
And he's out just like that. Mike dropped it, and he's gone. Oh, we will miss you, runner. We will miss you. It was always, hey, seriously, it's his reason. The reason this show exists is because of him. So, thank you. But Tom, I guess I'll go to my first pick of the night. I can't believe I'm just now to my first pick. And guess what happened? My internet just dropped. It had been good the whole time. Now it's dropped as soon as it comes to me. Yippee. So bear with me, guys. It's probably going to be blurry, my image here, because of my internet just dropped to 1 bar all of a sudden after it was just fine. But my first pick is, which I did do a review already of, but I want to get it out of the way here. Highwayman, starring Jim Caviezel and Rona Mitra. This just came out from Shout Factory, Scream Factory earlier this year, and I finally got it because I had been waiting for a while to pick this one up because of the price. It was $25, and I was worried that there was going to be no special features because with movies like this, like Highwayman, which wasn't a huge movie, but like when Scream and Shout Factory do stuff like this, like with Flashback, they don't put no special features on it. So that's one of the things that Tom brought up earlier is like we're losing special features on movies. And that's what upsets me about this movie, because this is a really, really good movie. This is basically a companion piece to The Hitcher. It's not as dark or as gritty as The Hitcher, but it's very much in the same vein. There's this guy going around driving this old beat up monster Eldorado Cadillac. He's hitting women. He's running them over, killing them. That's his, like, he likes doing that. And he ends up killing Jim Caviezel's wife. Jim Caviezel crashes into him and basically turns him into this monster himself by, when he crashes him, he like loses arms and legs, the guy does. And so like he's rebuilt himself in his car to kill these people. And Jim Caviezel's been chasing him for 5 years to catch him. And so like Rona Mitra gets caught up in their game, and it's a battle between these two and to save her and everything. It's a really well done movie. It's a really great movie. The cars are awesome. The crash scenes are awesome. It is directed by the director of The Hitcher, Robert Harmon. This is such a good movie. This is such an underrated movie. I highly recommend this movie. Now, if you have the DVD of this, because this is the first time it's been on Blu-ray from Scream Shout Factory, the DVD only contains the theatrical trailer. With this, you get a new audio commentary from Robert Harmon for the movie. It's a new 2K scan from the Interpositive. The scan does look way better than the DVD because I have the DVD. So the scan of this Blu-ray looks way better. It comes with the theatrical trailer on this, and it's something they don't even list. Like Tom, you've talked about as well too, like with Scream Factory, stuff they don't list. It also comes with the international cut of the movie on this Blu-ray, which is about 10 minutes longer. Nothing special. It's just like a couple scenes where like they talk to each other. Is a little longer. The scene, there's just a little more talking. And I couldn't agree more. Random Brad, Runamitra is smoking hot. I'm surprised she's never become super famous. I don't get it. But anyways, I recommend this. What upsets me about this is this was made by New Line Cinema, which is now owned by Warner Brothers. Investigating into this movie is I looked it up. Apparently, the test audiences saw a 2-hour version of this movie. It runs 80 minutes now, which I've said, I don't bother me that it's 80 minutes long. It's actually pretty good, pretty solid, well edited, well paced for 80 minutes. But I am curious to see what was taken out of that 2 hours, and we don't get no deleted scenes. I would really like to see what else this movie had to offer. Would the 2-hour cut made it better? I don't know. It maybe not. It could have explained certain characters a little more, but you know what would have been good to give you those some of those deleted scenes on special feature wise. But Shout Factory here is at the mercy of Warner Brothers and what they give them. So, but if you've never seen this, highly recommend it. If you're into movies like Duel, The Hitcher, Joyride, check it out. Yeah, there you go. There's my first pick for the night, and this is on sale now. That's why I bought it, because I waited for the price to drop a little bit because I didn't think $25 for no special features would have been good, but I'm glad I got it because it's worth it. It's worth it, guys.
Yeah, that's my main gripe. I don't mind. I mean, I understand not every movie is going to get special features, or it's not easy to find everything or get the rights to it. But if you're not going to get them, don't be charging god awful prices just for a movie. Right. That bothers me. Is like, if it's a movie only, there's no reason that disc should be over $15 for any movie. Right. Period. Like, there's no excuse for it. So, like, but if you chuck it up with special features, well, then yeah, I'm gonna pay 25, 30, 39 bucks or whatever for a special if it's worth it, special edition. But yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I wish they would have listed that it actually had the international cut of the film on the movie, the Blu-ray there, because I would have probably bought it sooner. They don't list it anywhere. It's not even on the case or in the description or anything. It's not like it's a big difference, but it's nice to know. Shout has that habit. I don't know if it's that they just like get stuff printed so early on in the game that they don't have shit. Because there's not one company worse than them as far as putting what's on the disc exactly on the back of the case or whatever. Like, they hardly ever have everything completely right. It's never a fail. Even like, I think Bride of Chucky here, which I talked about last time and earlier on the show. Trying to remember if they even list. Yeah, they don't even list any of the new stuff that's technically on here, even though there's only like 2 or 3 new things that aren't anything worth bragging about. But like, yeah, it's like they must. That must be what they do. They must print their covers and shit way early, and then they always end because stuff is always wrong on, like, of all the companies I've ever seen, they're the worst. I mean, it's not of all the things that could go wrong, that's the least. So I'm not gonna bitch, but it's just kind of funny. It's awkward. Weird. Yeah, it is. So it's sad because, like, when I bought Flashback, like you bought, I expected something on there. There's not even a theatrical trailer on that. It's just a movie. And that's why I held off on buying Highwayman, because I like Highwayman. It's something I've enjoyed for quite some time. And then when I got it, at least I got a new commentary, a theatrical trailer, and another cut of the film. But I would like to see the deleted scenes. So I would like to know what was cut out of the movie. But other than that, I can recommend the Blu-ray. The scan is great. I think it's very clear. You can make out things. It's better than the DVD. By and far. So if you want to buy it here, at least in the US, it's down to like $20, $20 if you want to buy it in Australia, Brandon Brad he's pissed because they're charging like 60 bones. So it's crazy. But that's my first pick of the night for you guys. What's it say? Rumor on the street is yeah, I heard that it's supposed to start in 2024 with Jim Caviezel. Yep. And Mel Gibson returning
for the sequel.
The Revenge.
Revenge. They thought they
this
killed
time
him.
Jesus got an Uzi.
Oh, that's crazy. It reminds me of the Gandhi.
You tell him I'm coming back, and hell's coming with me.
It's like the Gandhi thing from Weird Al. That could totally work. Oh man. You know what? I think with like in the case of this movie, Highwayman, it's a New Line Warner Brothers movie, so it's basically this is Warner Brothers, you know, because they don't really like to license out a lot of their movies, and what they do, they're at shouts at the mercy of whatever they give them.
He died for your sins, but now he's making them pay.
All right. What do you got first? What's your next pick of the night?
Lord. Where do I go from here? You guys might remember. We're just doing the 3 or are we doing the 4? I can't remember exactly. I don't even know anymore.
We could do 3.
Do you guys remember when I brought this on a while back? This is Criterion's Bruce Lee's Greatest Hits collection. Excellent collection for the most part. Can't say too much bad about it. But Arrow recently released this bitch. Oh my god, it's heavy. Oh. This is the Bruce Lee Golden Harvest collection. Motherfucker is heavy. Oh my gosh. The amount of stuff that's in here is insane. Okay. This is a book. Okay. And I got the yellow edition. There's a red edition and a yellow edition. And there's a bunch of posters and lobby cards and all kinds of other swag in here. But the main features, of course, are the Big Boss in 4K. Fist of Fury in 4K. The Way of the Dragon in 4K. Enter the Dragon on Blu-ray in the special edition cut only.
Nice.
Not 4K.
Yeah, it's not 4K though.
Game of Death. Multiple versions of Game of Death. Only I don't think it has the final redo cut that's on here. That I think may be the only thing that's missing on that part. Game of Death 2. It doesn't even really have Bruce Lee in it. And then probably, and then a bonus disc with 2 documentaries.
Mm-hmm.
Feature documentaries, mind you, not like they were made. One was made back in the 70s and one was made in the 80s. Bruce Lee, the Man, the Myth, and the Legend, and I'm trying to remember what the other one was called. But anyway, then there's also a bonus disc on here that has like a new documentary that contains all of the footage that Bruce Lee shot for Game of Death. And it's like a 3-hour documentary, and it contains all 2 hours of footage that he shot.
Really?
Yeah, so like this is an amazing set. On top of all the other extra bonuses it has. The only downer, like I said, was that Enter the Dragon wasn't in 4K. But you get all the special features that Warner Brothers had on their 40th anniversary edition. And you don't get the theatrical cut, which was available on here.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember, did this have the special edition? Yeah, it does have the special edition on it. Okay. Now there's probably some special features that are on here that didn't make their way onto that. I have not had time to comb through it all, but I know a lot of them are similar, like Blood and Steel, a 2004 documentary about the making, like all the stuff for Enter the Dragon and stuff is the same for the most part. And I think most of the soundtracks and alternate stuff like that, and the credit stuff that was any of that kind of stuff's carried over. But then, of course, there's a reason why we didn't get the 4K edition of Enter the Dragon in there, even though I thought we would, because Warner Brothers put it out themselves here in the US and the UK, and that's why they must not have allowed it in that box set, because they were doing their own release. Now, you could get your hands on a very limited edition, ultra uber special collector's swag edition, much like The Exorcist over there, that sold out pretty quick from my knowledge. that contains basically this steelbook and a bunch of other stuff. But yeah, so no, I picked up the steelbook, but this does not have a Blu-ray in it. It's only the 4K movie.
Mm-hmm.
Has 0 special features. I used Vudu to use the digital download, but that still didn't have no special features. So luckily, I got them on the fucker. Luckily, I got them on the on the Arrow set. But what this does have is both the theatrical and the special edition cut, and does have the commentary by Paul Heller and Michael Allen, and the introduction by Linda Lee Caldwell. It does have a new Dolby Atmos, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, Dolby Atmos mix. So picture-wise on all of these, most of them look really good. This one probably looks the best of the bunch. The one that probably looks the worst of the bunch, believe it or not, is Way of the Dragon, which is funky because that's the first one Bruce directed. I don't know if it's just that the stock wasn't there for everything, or it was just that mistreated or something, or maybe they struck that many prints off it that it was just rougher shape. It's hard to say. No.
That's what everybody keeps saying.
Horrible fucking
like,
movie.
no, it's not good.
Now, the stuff that Bruce did in it is some of the best shit he's ever done. And that's why the movie has, this mythos around it. I have not watched the final redo cut that they did for the Criterion cut yet, I don't think. But I did watch the one that's the theatrical cut on the 4K, and it's a horrible movie. They got insert shots on his face and stuff that look really dumb. And then other times they don't do it at all. So it's like, why did you even bother doing it the first time? The 2 guys they got playing Bruce don't look anything like him.
Did they still have this scene where like the guy has like on the mirror, when he looks in the mirror, it's just like a cutout of Bruce Lee's face on the mirror?
It's the only time in the movie, and you're like, why did they do that? Because the rest of the movie, they just show the guy's face. And then they even have this plot point where you're like, why didn't they just use this plot point? Because why is it even here? And that is where his face gets fucked up. And he supposedly has this reconstructive surgery. It's like, why didn't you use that as like the first half of the movie, or 2/4 of the movie, or 3/4, I should say, sorry, of the other actor, and then his face gets changed into what Bruce Lee looks like?
Yeah.
Like, that would make more fucking sense.
Totally.
Like, this movie doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever. And it's not even remotely what Bruce Lee had originally planned. And that's what I love about the documentary that's in the set that goes through all the footage. It actually tells you everything because Bruce was still planning this as it was going. And the main reason he started shooting already was because Kareem Abdul-Jabbar only had a very small window before he had to go start practice for the NBA. And if he didn't get him shot, then he wasn't going to be able to get his hands on him for another year or whatever it was. So he's like, okay, come out to China. We'll shoot everything that you're in right away. So we get that out of the way, and then I'll rework everything around that stuff. And that's what they've got, basically. And that's like the last 20 minutes of the movie itself. Not even really 20 minutes. That's the thing. It's like, you've got 2 hours worth of footage, and all you managed to use out of it was like roughly 15 minutes worth of footage. And not only that, you insert a bunch of shit from his other movies and stuff that makes no sense. Why didn't you use outtakes from those movies and other things? Like, none of this really made sense to me and how this came together. Like, they even used real footage from his funeral. Like, I mean, it's one of the most it's like, it's the most tasteless movies I've ever seen, at the same time as most important, just because it's the last footage we've got of Bruce Lee. But it almost works better as the documentary. It should have just been the documentary. And then they should have just cut together like a short, 15-minute version of the footage for us to have at the end of that documentary, just to watch proper. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Because at this point, the movie that it's attached to is so bad, and it's almost like spitting in the face of Bruce Lee, and it kind of started and was part of the Bruceploitation thing that happened, and it really does, like I said, it's very tasteless, distasteful, whatever you want to put it, but yeah.
Yeah, it's what I always thought and always heard as well, too. It's like very distasteful.
And I'm kind of confused at what happened exactly, because the timeline of events, I'm not sure on if he started shooting it and then because of Kareem, and then he went and shot Enter the Dragon, or if he shot Enter the Dragon, then started shooting this and then died, and then I can't remember exactly the the timeline of events, but it's something like that happened where he never got to finish Game of Death, and he had like three or four different outlines for it. He kept changing what the movie was going to be about, but the only thing that stayed consistent was that it was supposed to end with the the going up the tower to facing each adversary going up the tower.
Yeah, it's insane. Victor, I'm pretty sure this is a UK thing, and the Blu-rays are region B.
The Blu-rays are region B except for Enter the Dragon.
There you go.
I'm pretty sure that's region free because I put that because I remember I noticed I put it in my player and I'm like, this ain't even the HDR thing didn't pop up, so I'm like, what the fuck? That's when I realized it wasn't the 4K.
It's Blu-ray.
It's just the standard Blu-ray.
What is the best Bruce Lee film in your opinion?
I don't know. I love them all for different reasons. I mean, Way of the Dragon and Enter the Dragon probably capture the most of what Bruce could do, but I love the yellow jumpsuit and the nunchuck look from Game of Death.
Mm-hmm.
It's so weird how that's one of the more inspired, like ones we see all the time in an inspired Kill Bill's look and all that kind of stuff, when that was like probably one of the least of his films. But yeah, somewhere between Enter and Way of the Dragon, I'd say. But Big Boss and Fists of Fury are really good too.
Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that is
pricey, but I can recommend it. So
I was gonna say that's a great set. I wish I would have picked that one up by now. It's a shame though. Like once again, like with the 4K Enter the Dragon, it's just I was like, I want it, but you're not going to give me no special features, especially with Enter the Dragon.
That's just that I didn't even got into the special features. The only thing I watched was the documentaries,
right,
and stuff. Like I mean, I did sift through some things, but there's just so much to go through that it would be like I was never going to be able to talk about this movie, this set, if I didn't fucking.
Yeah, just watch the movie.
I didn't even watch Game of Death 2. That's what I didn't even bother.
I couldn't blame you
so
there.
like, like it's like whatever. But what it did is I didn't even know about it till I watched the documentary that Jackie Chan is in one of these, but he's a stuntman. And not only that, Jackie Chan was in a sequel to a Bruce Lee movie. Do you know which one it was?
No, I do not, but I do remember they said they gave him plastic surgery to try to make him look like Bruce Lee.
Well, that I don't know, but
that I did. Jackie Chan said that. I watched the thing.
He's in Fists of Fury too.
No, really?
Yeah, I didn't know that. And of course, that's not in this set, but I did order that in the Barnes & Noble Arrow sale they had a couple weeks back here. So, yeah.
Nice. Bronson, I have not seen The Forbidden Kingdom, but I do remember Jackie Chan and Jet Li being in that movie.
Oh, and I'm assuming Game of Death 2 probably is Region B as well. I didn't check that one. It says Region B on it because that one's only Blu-ray as well. So keep that in mind. Not that most people give a shit, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to watch it.
Yeah, if you're a Bruce Lee fan, I cannot recommend this enough.
Definitely.
And as far as I know, the contents are the same no matter which version you get. It's just the yellow one that I have here, I think, was the Arrow exclusive one, where you can only get it through them, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I just like actually red's my favorite color, but I just like the design because it just reminds me of the.
Yeah, I was going to say Bruce Lee in the yellow outfit. That's what you.
And like most people, I didn't manage to get mine imported without some damage. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sons of bitches.
Little bit, not much, but could be worse.
Sons of bitches,
but yeah, as far as I know, I'm still going to need to hang on to this for a couple things, and it sucks that I have to have this separate. But the steelbook part of it, since we didn't really talk too much about it, is pretty good though. It's a decent looking steelbook. You get the mirror on the inside with him,
nice.
And then the back is just the dragon logo that shines in gold. And the front is decent art. Not the original key art, which I like a little bit more, but you do get that on this one here in this set at least. Which I don't know if they've used this key art since the DVD release, the old ass snap case Enter the Dragon I remember having with the gold foil. Like
yeah.
Oh yeah, if you're a big fan, you definitely got to get your hands on it. So yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of the cardboard thing, but at least it's better than a book.
Yeah, it's better than a
Yeah, I'll take this any day over that type of shit.
Yeah.
And I mean, the book I didn't really show you guys either much, but it's actually a hard cover book. I like the back here too. Like, you got the great image on the front, Game of Death, and it's full color pages throughout. Or where color is in color, but yeah. But I mean, you know what I mean, and a lot of reading and text, but a lot of good stuff in there. So, like, it's a full-fledged book. I mean, this is huge.
I can see it.
Yeah,
see,
like
that makes
some pages.
Makes me curious about the Psycho and the Hellraiser book, since you're going to have one too.
Almost 200 pages, yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, it's got all the info here on the restorations as well. That's another thing I love about Arrow, is they do a good job of letting you know who did what, where, when, why, all that business. And I think these are the picture cards. There's a bunch of them, but I'm not going to pull them out. And of course, we get a poster of the Way of the Dragon. It looks like. I haven't even opened this thing. It's double-sided. It's kind of neat.
We get an unboxing live right here.
Kind of, yeah. Way of the Dragon on one side, Big Boss on the other. So these must be the American posters, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Oop.
Another man down.
Man down, man down.
Man down.
That damn carpal tunnel. And then you got a whole Bruce Lee is Dynamite. And this is
Dynamite.
Even more cards, it looks like. Holy shit. Yeah, these are like posters. Holy shit, there's tons of them.
Dang. Look, Tom's like going through it right here for the first time. He's like, oh, I can't.
Like, I don't even know what the difference between that one is unless I got an extra one here. No, these are like exactly this. I got a bunch of them that are the same. Oh, duh, they're lobby cards. Like, what the hell? The backs are all the same. Or the pictures are all the same. But yeah, look at all these. Holy shit. There's even more than there was already some lobby cards or whatever you want to call
know. It's
them.
like, dang. And that comes in a nice little set.
Tons and tons and tons of them.
Nice
I
little
could sit here all damn day.
Box.
Yeah, I know. These are nice images too. I could use these. Scan them, and these are nice high quality images. Yeah. If I ever needed Bruce Lee stuff. Game of Death. That's a great shot there. Some good stuff.
Nice.
That's some good shit. Yeah. I think we already saw
Dang,
that.
you could, that's some really good high quality ones.
So these other ones just actually they look like, okay, so these are lobby cards. So I don't know if these are bonus photos or these in both sets, but these are there's even quite a few in here. I haven't even opened this one yet. Not one of those things that sticks. Yeah. Sorry, I got carpal tunnel. I don't want to work my fingers sometimes.
No worries.
I don't want to rip shit, so I'm like
ASMR card
balancing out. Oh, these are like, okay, so these are like glossy actual photos, they feel like.
Oh yeah, they look like real pictures.
Yeah, they're like real photos. I mean, that's what they feel like anyway.
Yeah.
They don't smell like real photos necessarily. But these are really nice. Holy shit.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. Man,
they're super glossy.
I wish I would have got this set now. I waited too long.
Is it out of? Can you not get the red one either?
I don't know. I
like that picture.
I'm gonna have to look. I usually get my stuff from Diabolic, my foreign stuff.
Yeah,
and
they might have it in.
I have to check it out. I
think the red one has all the same stuff. It's just a different, because like the red one's the one you could get anywhere. The yellow one, the only difference, as far as I know, the only difference is just the case.
Yeah,
because that's the way usually Arrow works. Is they got their exclusive cases, and that's what I did for Tremors and Barbarella. I ordered the ones with their cases through there.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go look because I know I had to order the Hellraiser set from somebody else now because Diabolic sold out of it. But I got my Psycho set. I made sure to get that, so I'm gonna have to look for that.
Yeah, I ordered that one. That one was a pretty nice price compared to this, but there's only 4 movies in there, and you're not gonna get 20 different versions of each one either. So.
That's cool. Brian Barth, there's always those conspiracy theories about Bruce Lee and Brandon Lee. So
honestly, I think most of the conspiracy theories that surround Bruce are mainly just because he was in some other chick's apartment at the time. So there was a lot of stuff that the press, his family, you guys got to remember what Bruce Lee meant to China, right? I mean, he was China's first international superstar.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think people really realize how big of a star he was at that time. And how, I mean, it was a huge thing for them to lose him. So then to have him, not only that, but die so oddly in an apartment of some, actress that's not his wife.
Mm-hmm.
When there was already rumors, I think, going around of them two hooking up and shit. Like, yeah. So, and depending on who you believe, there's stories about Bruce's prowess.
Yeah, he was a physically fit specimen.
Very,
of a man.
very physically fit man, and he didn't probably enjoy the ladies like most men did.
I mean, once you become a celebrity, it kind of gets thrown in your face. So,
Brian, I don't know about him personally, but I would say that I don't know if guys like Jackie Chan would have been as big of a deal because of that. But we also may have had a wave, because Bruce Lee was kind of responsible for the early wave of, or not early wave, but the wave of, kung fu / karate martial arts craze that took over in the 70s and then was rekindled again in the 80s, and then again in the late 80s, with Ninja Turtles and stuff in the late 80s, early 90s. It all kind of stems back to him, because prior to him, America didn't really know about a lot of that stuff. Chuck Norris wasn't a star yet. You didn't have karate movies here in the US. We didn't have any really big Asian actors at all that you could consider movie star. Like Bruce Lee is arguably the first Asian movie star.
Mm-hmm.
In a way. I mean, unless you count Godzilla, I guess.
He was huge. He was big.
But I asked AI Jesus who would win in a fight, and AI Jesus dodged the question when I asked who would win, you, Jesus, or Bruce Lee.
He dodged the question.
He dodged the question. I don't think he wants to answer that.
To
Which is weird, because it's like I asked him who's a better dancer, you or Michael Jackson, and he's like Michael Jackson at the end of the whole thing. It's like, why don't you just admit that Bruce Lee would kick your ass, Jesus?
That is ridiculous. I think Brandon Lee probably was on the verge of having a pretty decent big screen career.
Yeah.
Nothing like too huge, I think, but I think he would have been a pretty decent good
We'll
star.
get into that. Hang on to that thought here for a few minutes. Maybe we'll talk a little bit more about Bruce Lee here once Greg gets through his next pick.
Yes, and before I get to my next pick, we got a $2 super chat from Ace Hanlon. Says, watched The Crow recently, and I really enjoyed it. I love The Crow. It's a great movie. That movie needs a 4K. I would absolutely love.
I got to imagine it's on Paramount's list of things
to
get to after Scream and shit. Yeah, it's got to be one of Dimension / whatever's bigger films. I got to think.
Mm-hmm. I hope they do that, and I hope they don't use too much neat on it. And I usually typically watch that around Halloween, considering it is a Halloween movie. So
yeah, I expect it to be grainy.
Yes, I expect it to be grainy too, because it's a lot of dark scenes, a lot of night. The grain should show up pretty good. But I love the movie. It's a great movie. Thank you so very much, Ace Hanlon, for the $2 super chat. I'd give you Gary Busey again, but it's a little creepy still. But thank you.
Gary Busey talking about Bruce Lee. He was in tune with the universe, and he knew how to. Bruce Lee's the only man who can fight me and kill me.
I mean,
I'm immortal, you see. That motorcycle accident, I knew it wasn't.
They would have, but
Bruce
then
Lee,
again,
on the other hand, it's the only thing that could kill Gary Busey, but luckily Bruce Lee's dead. Or is he?
he could still be alive. But thank you, Ace Hanlon.
I think the thing that, to answer Brian's other question, I would say is Bruce really wanted to prove himself as more than just the kung fu star. So I think he would have tried a lot of other films where that wasn't necessarily what he was there for. So like, I think he would have tried to have a career a lot like Schwarzenegger, to where he kind of like mixed it up a lot. Like he would have done, a couple comedies and, some other stuff like that. I mean, I would have seen him doing stuff like Rush Hour.
Yeah, I would have seen it too. Yeah. All right. Well,
can you imagine if in the 80s we had gotten Rush Hour with Bruce Lee and Eddie Murphy?
That would have been better than the Rush Hour we got. That would have been awesome. I would have loved to see that.
Hey man, I ain't up with that karate stuff.
My fists are registered weapons.
It's not karate.
Not karate.
Jinkendo.
That would have been awesome, seriously. Before I get into mine,
I am a registered lethal weapon. If I were to fight someone and kill them, I would go to a prison, okay? Hey man, you kill anybody, it's called murder, okay? It's like everybody's going to prison.
Everybody.
I shoot somebody, I'm going to prison.
Nice. But they are demanding Busey real quick, so I'll give them Busey.
Talk about buttered sausage. Talk about buttered sausage, where it comes from, what it does. Why is it doing what it's doing? Get it out of my face. What about buttered sausage?
That's not your jam. It's not your thing. You don't like it?
It's not my jam. I don't buy jam. I buy honey, and I kiss it on the lips.
It's so perfect. It is perfect.
Oh Lord.
Oh man, there you go. He said, "I'd be like, yeah, dude, that would be good." All right, since it's my turn and my internet seems to be all right. My second pick, not as cool or as fancy as the Bruce Lee stuff, which I need to get, but I have Frankenhooker. So yeah, there you go. This is a great.
Want to impress me? Pull out the VHS.
I wish I had the VHS.
I can't believe you don't.
I actually don't. It's actually going for a lot of money, so I can't. Yeah, I can't get
especially
it.
One that actually still works.
Yeah, because those batteries didn't last long. It's got a reversible cover, and this is you want to see Synapse's 2023 lineup coming. So,
so this is one of their new ones.
I actually just got this not too long ago, and it's got a 2023 book in it, so I was like kind of surprised.
I don't have it. I don't think, but I thought it'd been out for a while.
It's been out for quite some time. I got it a while back, but I was surprised to have this. Wow, they got some nudie. Anyways, I flipped up to the page with a bunch of nude chicks, Blu-rays and stuff. It's Brian Bart. That's who I am. That's what I like. That's what I'm into. It's not that I'm not into. I love the Bruce Lee stuff. I like to get that stuff, but then like my attention gets drawn to stuff like Frankenhooker and stuff like that, and I'm like, hey, and that's just sort of where I go. And it's not like I don't get that stuff. I do eventually get that stuff. It just takes me a little longer because I'm very sidetracked ADHD like that because I get distracted when I start seeing B movies and low budget.
You're also on a little bit different budget than me too.
Yeah, I got family and stuff, so I don't necessarily get to buy those right off the bat. But if you've never seen Frankenhooker, this is a fun ass movie. It is great. It is so cheesy. It is so bad. It is so good. The special effects are it's bonkers. I was watching this the other night, and because I had it on the shelf for a while, and I was like, I'm finally going to watch it. I was watching it the other night. It just felt like this is a movie you would see, and I'm sure it has been, and I'm sure I've seen it before. But this is like a movie you would see on like a horror host hosting it, and like you would watch on Halloween night or something. It's just that fun. It's basically there's this guy. It takes place in New Jersey. He's a repairman, but he's really smart and he's going to be a doctor, but he keeps dropping out college to be a doctor because it's just like, I guess it's not like challenging for him. But he's dating this girl, and he's at her dad's birthday party. He made a lawnmower for her dad. The lawnmower goes, hey, chops the girl up. Chops her up. So the whole movie is him. He wants to rebuild his girlfriend. He saved her head. He's come up with like the Frankenstein thing. He can bring him back to life. So he starts going looking for hookers to remake his girlfriend, and he creates super crack. He creates super crack because they're hooked on crack, and it makes them explode, and that's how he gets body parts for it, and just hilarity ensues, and he makes her like Frankenstein hooker, and she's not quite the same girl as he was in love with, and it's just insane. And Patty Mullen plays Frankenhooker, and if you've never seen it, it's great. This comes from what's his name? We just talked about him earlier. Frank Hinenlotter. I think that's how you say his name. He made Basket Case, Brain Damage, and stuff like that. So if you're looking for a really good, cheesy, fun time, I highly recommend Frankenhooker. The Synapse one is a great scan of the film. It's a 2K scan, but it's from the original negative, and it's uncut. So there's footage in this that's not on the VHS and all that, because it's the uncut direct scan from but it's 2K scan. Wouldn't surprise me if we eventually got a 4K scan of this down the line, but this is really great. Holy crap, I didn't even realize that. Look on the front here, if you can see the quote. I just now saw it. Let me pop it up. Can you see that? Let me see. Look at the quote they used. If you only see one movie this year, it should be Frankenhooker, Bill Murray, Ghostbusters, Caddyshack, Zombieland. I had never noticed that before. Bill Murray approves of Frankenhooker, so there you guys go. Not much I could talk about it other than that. Other than there, you guys have it.
Sadly, I think I saw it way back on like Cinemax or USA Up All Night or something. But I vaguely just remember a few scenes, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. You can't go wrong with Tatas and horror. I mean, Patty Mullen, who plays Frankenhooker, she was Penthouse Pet of the Month.
It was a video store staple.
Yeah, it's something you walked in, you go, dude, we got to rent this. Don't tell your mom. That's basically what it was. Do you have the King Kong VHS that has the roaring box?
No, but I know what you're talking about, Scott. Yeah.
I never knew that one existed either. I mean, I knew about the Frankenhooker one, but I didn't know about the King Kong one.
I think it was the 50th anniversary edition or something like that, I think.
Oh, that's cool. I wonder, seriously, if anybody's watching this who has that, do you guys still have the VHS of that? Does it still play? Does it still do the noises and light up and stuff? I would like to see that.
I'm sure somebody has it up on YouTube.
Yeah,
somewhere.
I'll have to check that out. Yeah, I probably saw it up on USA Up All Night with either Gilbert Gottfried or Rhonda Shear one night. Up All Night. They just don't.
We're gonna watch Frankenhooker. Oh my God! There's so many hooker parts. Like my last movie. Hookers everywhere. Hooker parts.
And it's funny too because like he literally legitimately has hooker parts everywhere after he blows off all the hookers. He's like got a pile of breasts right in front of him, and he's just picking them up and squeezing them and going through one by one to figure out
who wants a leg. I've got a breast.
Yes, I really do like cheesy movies. It's just who I am. All right, it's just who I am. I like cheesy movies. Is that a crime? I wish I could do it. Is that a crime? Gilbert Gottfried. But anyways, to you, Tom. What's your?
Is it a crime to blow up a hooker? Yes, it is, sir. Well, sue me.
Dude, my friend VHS Mikey just did a really cool video about speaking of Gilbert Gottfried. It's on where he was the smoke detector. The video where he did the fire safety.
Your house is on fire. Get out.
Exactly. When I smell that smoke. It was good. It was good. I forgot about that. He did that. But anyways, it's not like I know you haven't seen a while. So
you can only do his voice at one level.
Exactly. But check out Frankenhooker. It is worth a watch. It is worth a watch. It's insanity. It's boobs. It's hookers. It's a super crack. It's Frankenstein.
That's ironic. The last hooker I picked up was named Frank. And he had a Franken weenie between his legs.
Some people may not like the end of Frankenhooker. Speaking of stuff like that, it's maybe a little reverse there, but some people may not like the ending. But it's so stupid. It's just so stupid. It's fun. But yes, I do like them cheesy, sleazy, and scary. You name it. What do you got for us, Tom, for your final pick of the night? Or do you have more? I can't remember.
This is my final pick.
Your final pick. Okay, there you go.
All right, as I said, more Bruce Lee. I had it still in the plastic, no less, but I've had it for years. And I had to watch the controversial Dragon, the Bruce Lee story. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it.
I'd be surprised if you have the VHS, actually.
You know what? You're not wrong. I may actually have it. I have a stack I haven't gone through yet.
This was actually one I had on VHS too back in the day. I mean, as a kid, I didn't realize what it was. Watching it now, I realize more of what it is. It's basically a Bruce Lee movie. So instead of it being called the Bruce Lee story, it should be called Dragon, a Bruce Lee movie.
Right.
If that makes sense. Because it's more or less elements of his life, but they play out like if they were in a Bruce Lee movie. So in that sense, I think it's a little meta. It's kind of ahead of its time. And that's probably why it gets a bad rap. Because people are like, oh, it's a lot of fiction and made up shit. Yeah, I know. If you watch the movie, you kind of get that after a little bit. You realize that this is not real life. This is a Bruce Lee movie.
Right.
Not like the Bruce Lee story so much as a Bruce Lee movie that closely resembles Bruce Lee's life. Right? Like, that's really what it's like Eminem when he did 8 Mile.
Right.
That's what it is.
Eminem's story, but it's not Eminem's story, but it's close as you can get to
up with the shit. Exactly.
Yeah.
Sure, did Bruce Lee fight all these fucking people? Probably not. But of course it's fun to have a fucking romp in the middle of a fucking dance or in the middle of a fucking kitchen in a restaurant or, you know, some of the other things that clearly probably didn't happen. The only one that's questionable is whether or not he actually fought that guy over being able to teach Jeet Kune Do and martial arts and kung fu and all that kind of shit to white people.
Yeah.
Because there's varied stories about what really happened, what really went down, and the WWE even made a whole movie about that. Like, there's a whole movie where that's all it is just it concentrates on that aspect of his life. I mean, that's touched on in here, and it's a big part of it.
Yeah.
And they even use that as the excuse of how he hurts himself as far as his back, like a Bane moment, like the guy who almost breaks his back kind of thing.
That's the scene where like they're filming it, but then he like takes the film out of the camera at the end, right?
That's
the difference.
That's another one where, again, I highly doubt anything like that ever really happened in real life.
Right.
Yeah, because that's another scene where you're just like, okay, it goes from being, okay, we're filming a movie to it becoming a real fight.
Mm-hmm.
And like, that's the thing is Bruce Lee was not somebody who fought a lot later in life compared to when he was younger. Because that was what got him in trouble in the first place, was getting like, so a lot of that stuff is true. Some of that stuff is true. Now, how it happened, not likely. Like, they even fuck up his history. Like, his dad, he's like a single father. No, his mom was there. His dad was an actor. He was a child actor. I mean, there's a lot of stuff they just kind of overlook. So it's really kind of, like I said, it's more or less like a Bruce Lee movie, not the Bruce Lee story. So from that respect, it's amazing. Jason Scott Lee is great in it. What's her face as his wife is great in it. Lauren Holly.
Oh yeah,
this was the movie she did right before Dumb and Dumber. What's weird is this movie was made just before Brandon died.
Mm-hmm.
That was the fucked up part. And they have the whole little thing in there about Bruce's whole fear was that being passed on to his son. The whole fears and all that. But like, again, watching this as a younger person at the time it came out, expecting a quote unquote biopic, I can see people being disappointed. Watching it now, 30 years later in hindsight, I'm like, I see exactly you know, what Rob Cohen was trying to do with this movie,
Mhm.
right? He's not trying to make a straightforward biopic. So in that respect, I think it's great. This Blu-ray is all right. I mean, it's an older Blu-ray. It looks pretty decent for what it is. You got all the DVD stuff carried over here, which is just like a basic making of, some behind the scenes footage, the commentary, you know, your basics for at the day of the heyday of the. Actually, all this stuff was originally for. This got a special edition Laserdisc back in the day.
Nice.
That's what all this shit's from, actually, because they when they're talking about it, they're even mentioning Laserdisc. This Laserdisc edition of the movie.
It always cracked me up when they had to move all that Laserdisc. Like, just put it on there, and they don't even bother changing the Laserdisc or anything. All of it. But yeah, I've always enjoyed this movie. Like you said as a kid, saying it, you don't really realize that it's being maybe a little over exaggerated, that it's supposed to be a Bruce Lee movie about Bruce Lee's life. If you, like you were saying, like the Eminem 8 Mile thing. And I think Jason Scott Lee, like Brandon Brett said, I think he's excellent in this. I think he does a really good job of trying to capture Bruce Lee in it. He does a pretty good job. Hey, look, you got the soundtrack too.
Yeah, and of course you hear it all the time. It's been used in a million fucking trailers, and I forgot all about that till I watched the movie again the other night.
That's true.
I even posted it on Twitter. It's like, yeah, that moment you forget. Oh yeah, that's right. They use that music in like every trailer. Not only, I think they even use it in Tropic Thunder or something like that. When they have the Oscar ceremony bit or whatever, I swear it's in something like that. Yeah, it pops up all the time in movies and television shows and everything. It's like, no, that's the Brandon, the Bruce Lee story movie. I almost said the Brandon Lee story movie.
I'm surprised we haven't got a Brandon Lee story movie yet.
Yeah, I know, right? But he didn't have the impact his father did, and that's what I was about to say. Is if Brandon had lived between, his father's resurgence in popularity at this time, because this came at the peak of like Bruce Lee resurgence at that time, right? This came on I believe it was the anniversary of his death. And all that business. So like, I mean, it was between that and The Crow, I think Brandon was set up to be a really big action star, and it just didn't, obviously, he was cut short. So yeah.
Yeah, I just what I said. I think he was going to actually be somebody big. I don't know if he would have had like a huge lasting impact, staying power. Not
he could have been bigger than like Jean-Claude Van Damme and those guys.
Yeah, he would have been pretty good. It would have lasted a while, and he definitely could have kept coming back once in a while, because Bruce Lee's popularity surges every once in a while, so we'd definitely be having Brandon
wasn't
Lee
like he initially supposed to be in like Speed or something. I swear there's something he was supposed to be in.
Yeah, what was it? There
after The Crow, it was either Speed or something like that he was going to be in, that was going to be his next big breakout.
I remember that he was.
Maybe it was The Matrix. Was it The Matrix that they wrote for him? Bryant just brought it's one of those big movies that came out in the next few years after his death that he was initially attached to, or was written for him, that he didn't get because of the dying and all. But yeah.
I'm trying to see if I can remember here and look through it. See if I look at anything up here real quick while I'm looking. Which is funny because I'm interested to see what they do.
I swear, I don't know if it was The Matrix, because I think it was like Speed or something like that. I want to say, because it was a standard action film that was going to be, and it ended up being a big action film. I know he was in classic Showdown in Little Tokyo. Yeah, but Showdown in Little Tokyo was not some huge movie. RJ Godzilla. It was a video cable hit, more or less, but like, yeah. But I mean, at that time, like The Crow was going to be his first big breakout role.
And that was going to put him on the map.
Oh yeah, he'd have been like in John Wick.
It might have been Speed. When I'm looking up here, it might have been. You might be right.
I think it was, because I remember seeing like it was written for him, or it was written with him in mind, or he was initially attached to it. Because Speed came out the year after The Crow, didn't it? I think, yeah. Because Brandon Lee died in 93. Speed came out in 94 or 95.
94.
That'd be about right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it might have been Speed from what I'm seeing here.
There's another actor I just learned recently who turned Speed down, and I can't remember who it was. And they regretted it.
There's always one, I liked Showdown in Little Tokyo. I loved Rapid Fire too. I thought those were great movies.
Yeah, he had the ramp. Yeah. I mean, he was on his way up the mountain, and The Crow was going to be that thing
the Crow made him a household name, but I mean, that was the thing that was kind of gonna do it anyway. And then, yeah, like if he'd have lived and done Speed, I think that'd have been it. He'd have been.
Yeah. You know what? You guys are not wrong. He could have replaced Keanu.
In a lot of ways, he possibly could have. I mean,
yeah, he was set up. You know, it's weird. It's a weird circumstance.
The Matrix is definitely something I could have seen them wanting him in, and he would have played the Neo role. Yeah,
yeah. He could have took Keanu Reeves' career. Who knows? You never know.
Yeah, Keanu would have just kept doing the more artsy fartsy stuff. That's all.
Yeah. I'm sure he would eventually find his way to action if he
probably.
He's just either way. But yeah, I have not seen that movie in a very long time. I always remember liking the movie. I never had a
film,
you know.
But especially watching it right after I watched the 2 documentaries about his life, I'm like, well, yeah, this is utter bullshit. I remember at the time people raising a bunch of shit about it, but like, yeah, now watching it now, I'm just like, oh yeah, clearly. But I see what it is now more so than I did then.
Like I said, when you're a kid and you're watching it, you don't really.
Well, not just that, we're not used to that, right? So. We get tons of those all the time now. We've got like the Weird Al movie. You've got like the Elton John one that just came out last year is more or less from his point. Like it's the same kind of thing, right?
Queen, what's his
that
name?
One not so much, but like because that was like supposed to be more of a straightforward biopic. But like I'm trying to think. There's another one that's another good example. Elvis is kind of in that vein. There was another one I was trying to think of that is almost exactly like that besides 8 Mile. That's really similar. But like
The Fablemans.
Maybe in that respect. But like 8 Mile is kind of the best version of it because you know, it's really like it's Eminem's life. They really just flipped a few things and probably added more of the tension with the rapping shit than what was really there, which is kind of similar in a sense of how they added in more fighting and stuff like that. And Brandon keep doing that in Bruce's real life.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna have to rewatch that now as well too, because I've not seen that in years. But I always remember liking it. I always thought it was good.
What we need is Brandon Lee in 8 Mile.
He would usurp Eminem, plain and simple. He's just going to replace everybody.
Yep.
Was he? Brandon Lee was originally cast as Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat. The movie, because I know originally the game was supposed to be Jean-Claude Van Damme. So
that could be, but then again, the guy who plays, I could see that.
Yeah,
I was gonna say because the guy who plays Liu Kang was also an up and coming Korean or whatever action star too at the time. I can't think of his name.
I know you're talking about.
But rumor is he basically killed his career just because he was not very easy to work with, I guess. Trying to think of his name now. The guy who played Liu Kang,
Yeah, he was in that Chris Farley movie.
Beverly Hills Ninja.
Yeah, Beverly Hills Ninja. I think that was the last thing I ever saw him in. So, yeah.
That was one of his last films before his venture into straight to streaming / home video territory.
Oh, you know what I want to watch now, which there is no Blu-ray of? Speaking of all this, I don't know. Best of the Best. I want to watch Best of the Best now. When you said straight to streaming and all that, there's the multiple sequels, but the first one is great. Yeah, there you go. Like that. Take for example, Best of the Best. That was like you were talking about how like there was no karate movies and kung fu movies in America until you come in the 80s. That's when we got a bunch of those type of movies. So
kind of started in the 70s, obviously with Bruce Lee.
Yeah, with Bruce Lee, but then like in the 80s,
I think you had the one 007 movie. I think where there was ninjas in it or whatever was like the closest you could say.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. Was there anything else really? Trying to remember. Somebody will correct me if I'm wrong, but nobody has yet. So,
Robin Shaw.
Yeah, Robin Shaw. Is that his name? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard he was a real dickhole to work with.
I always wondered what happened to him. That would make sense. So, yeah. All right. Any final words before I move on to my final pick?
No, I mean, it's not like it's a movie I could go, oh, it needs a 4K, but. Kind of a biopic that's kind of been forgotten considering we're like in the age of
resurgence of biopics again. And like I said, now it makes more sense than it did then because nobody else had made a biopic like this then. Not that I can think of. Not where it's almost like we're making a movie like that individual would make, but it's loosely based on their life. Like JoJo Dancer, I guess would be closest with Richard Pryor. Maybe. I'm sure there was a few others, but I can't think of them offhand. Somebody will throw some in the chat though. But yeah, it's kind of like one of those kind of movies, but yeah.
Yeah. Weren't we supposed to get a new oh my gosh, Belushi biopic? Weren't we supposed to get one of those?
Oh, for a while, I guess. I haven't heard anything in a long time.
It's supposed to be Miles Teller was going to play him or whatever, which I don't know.
Oh
if that was a
yeah.
great casting.
Yeah, I don't know about that casting either. But.
Yeah. Bronson, it's either the best, the Bad Boys movies, or I kind of like Blue Streak. I always liked Blue Streak. I would have a soft spot for that.
As far as the solo runs, probably Blue. Yeah, maybe Blue Streak, I guess. I'm not the hugest Martin Lawrence fan. I never really have been. I only tolerate, like, his show was okay. I tolerated it.
Yeah.
I like him in things like Boomerang and Bad Boys where he's playing off of like a Will Smith or an Eddie Murphy. And in like House Party and stuff like that, because that's where I first saw him. Would have been in the House Party.
Yeah,
movie.
the House Party movies. Yeah.
But I don't really like his solo comedy. All that, like his Night movie was horrible.
Oh yeah, the First Night. Oh yeah, I
First
didn't like
Night
that.
was horrible. Couple other, that one he did with, what was it, Tim Robbins or whatever? Nothing to Lose.
Oh yeah, no, that one's not too bad.
That one was okay. That's the thing. When he's got somebody to play off of, he's better. He did one with Danny DeVito too that flopped. That wasn't.
Yeah,
too
that
bad.
was a bad.
That's the worst that could happen. I think it was, and I
Yeah,
guess
but
the
I
answer
didn't
was
like
this
that
movie
movie.
can flop.
Night, Brian Bart. Thank you for hanging with us.
Take care, Bryant. Yeah, no, like I just don't care for him much on his own. But if he's with the right people, he's very funny. Yeah,
I liked Life. I thought Life was pretty good, but that's
Life
also more
was
Eddie Murphy.
different. Yeah, that's not one I was really a big fan of. I guess it wasn't what I was quite expecting either. I don't know.
I don't know. I just kind of thought it was good, but like Blue Streak, I'd have to say it's probably his best movie.
That's solo flick, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we'll move on to my final pick. Once again, guys, I don't have nothing special like Tom, but sooner or later I'll get some bigger ones in for you guys. But for my final pick is, do you like Huey Lewis in the News? And I held it upside down.
Oh, you don't have the fancy one.
No, I got this one. So
loser.
I know I'm a loser.
I'm kidding.
I had a hankering to watch certain types of movies this week.
You know, I hated that movie the first time I saw it.
Did you?
Yeah, I don't even think I finished it. I have the 4K Blu-ray. I've not seen it since. And it's one of those movies that people have talked about. There's two movies that came out when I was younger that everybody loved the fuck out of, and I just could not understand. That one and Fight Club.
Right.
And Fight Club I didn't like because I felt so cheated at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I get people like it now, and it's all this big who cool twist and all this other business, and it's, a cultural phenomenon now. But like, I guess I just didn't get it at the time, and I still don't get it.
And they both have what's his name in it? Morbius. He's in both movies.
Oh, yeah. I got to watch that one again. It's literally been since it came out. So it's been like 20 plus years. Yeah.
Thing was American Psycho. I could understand how you didn't like it the first time around, because I don't think I quite got it the first time around. But once you're a little older and you see it and you understand it, it's such a better, much better movie. I had so much more fun with it this time than I've ever had with it, because it's been multiple years since I've seen it. And I really, really enjoyed it. I think it got the story and his character really I got it this time around. It just got into it a little more. And I liked Fight Club. I like Fight Club too, but I think American Psycho, nobody get mad at me, but I think American Psycho is a better movie than Fight Club. But I like Fight Club.
Yeah, I gotta open up that 4K one of these days.
Yeah. But it's a great movie. It's but I will, like even the director herself, she admitted, because there's a lot of debate over the ending of the movie, is she admitted that she kind of failed with the end of that movie because, like, I don't know. Do you know all about the end? I'm sure you do.
Not really, because like I said, I don't even remember if I ever finished watching it.
I don't know if I want to spoil it then.
It's fine. I don't know.
It's not like really
step away for a minute.
It's not like really spoiling it, but like the thing of the movie is, well, I get if you want to step away or whatever it is, but like the thing of the movie is like he makes a phone call to his lawyer confessing all the murders he's done, and at the and then the next day when he goes to talks to his lawyer, he sees him at the club. His lawyer says, "Oh, this is a joke. He thought it was a joke, and he's not going to get trouble." And people think, did he actually ever kill anybody? The thing is, yes, he did kill people. It's just that his mask of sanity, like he says in the beginning of the movie, is slipping throughout the movie because he starts off as like this normal 80s yuppie type guy who just wants to fit in, who has these psychotic urges. And then as the movie progresses, he gets more and more lost into his psychotic urges and slips from sanity. And by the end of the movie, he's an unreliable narrator. So you're left wondering, did he really? The thing is, yes, he did kill people. It's just that he's so messed up in the head by the end of the movie that you don't know how many he's actually killed. It's probably a lot less than he thinks because he goes, I maybe killed 20, 40 people. It's probably a lot less than he thinks. And plus, where he was hiding the bodies, which was in the apartment of the guy, the Jared Leto guy that he kills, when he goes back to that apartment and it's cleaned up and they're trying to sell it, is a rich, fancy apartment like that in New York that would cost lots of money. The people are going to clean that up no matter what's happening. They're going to hide. And so he lives in this world of privilege that he's been trying to fit into. And he's getting away with everything and he doesn't understand it. So it's making it even more crazy. So that's it. Once you like understand that, then you get it. But yeah. You can come back now if you heard all that or you didn't hear all that. But I've always, I've enjoyed the movie, and I think the older you get, the more you understand it, the more you watch it and see Christian Bale's performance and everybody around him. It's a better movie. It's a better movie now. Yes, it did come back out in 4K in 2018. Yes, Tom has all the nice stuff. You got to get you a 4K player, Snowdub, because I know you're into physical media too. It'll change once you see like a really good 4K on a 4K TV. You'll be like, you're going to want some. But like I've always said here, guys, you don't have to go 4K if you don't want to. You DVD, Blu-ray, 4K, Laserdisc, whatever you want, whatever is best for you guys. But yeah, that was my final pick of the night. I just had, I didn't get the fancy steelbook with the white business card that's bone. I just got the little art there. So there you guys have it. Anything you want to say, Tom, if you're back yet? All right. You don't want to have Alfred to clean up the evidence. That's true. Yes, this is what I need. I definitely need to get a multi-region player soon. That is something I want to look into with some of my foreign stuff I get. Yeah, it's like when he sees that on the ATM, that's when you know you're not. This guy's gone, and what you're seeing is now from his point of view, and maybe you didn't realize it the whole time. Is like, yeah, you've been seeing the movie from his point of view the whole time, and the guy he's a psycho. He's a psycho. But yes, Tom, anything you want to say before we close it all out here?
No, I think that was a pretty decent show. We will miss Runner.
Mm-hmm.
Sure his replacement will aggravate us just as much as he did.
We got to get somebody young so we can pick on them and teach them.
Yeah.
We're going to get to the casting couch.
We'll call him Sitter.
Runner Sitter, yeah. Maybe we should look for a woman to replace him. I don't know how well that would play, a young woman. I don't know how well that would play with
gender
us.
swap. I'm down for
gender
that.
Swap him out.
Gender swapped already. I think I can handle that.
Yeah. We'll have to look for it. Until then, it may take us a while. We'll find somebody. We'll get into it. And thank you guys for coming out tonight, hanging with us tonight. Yeah, Snowdub's here. He's talking about maybe for Christmas he'll get a 4K and stuff. So, yeah. I like this. Runner Meyer Burnett comes. I like that. Oh, that would have been great. That would have, you know what? That would have been the topping on the cake if after he dipped out, Robert showed up. That would have been like the
Which
best.
is funny because I did send him the link letting him know it was Runner's last show too.
Oh man, that would have been awesome. That would have made my night because I would have been laughing forever over that. All right, guys. Thank you, Todd, for coming. Runner, you will be missed. Thank you so very much for joining the show and giving me the idea for the show. Thank you to everybody in the chat and everybody that's hung with us tonight out there in viewing land. We had some surprises. People in the chat. I mean, we had Jay, Drunk 3PO show up, Snow Dub. This is the place to be on Wednesday nights, as far as I'm going to say it from here on out. But yeah, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
How you doing? Bitches leave.
Bitches leave.